Gosai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Sai. Nitil Vishnu Vishnupad Ashvatara Bhakti Siddhanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Maha-Bhagavat Srila Gorksharas Babaji Maharaj jai. Nitil Pravishta Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitil Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Pat Shar Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namachay Shri Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. Prem Bho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Vrimandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Yogini Akarashi Titi ki jai. Akarashi Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Dandavat pranams Sudevi Didi and Ganga Didi. Hari Bo. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanajana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Radhriyatmane Sri Srimad-Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tar Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Yam Prabrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayano Virahakatara Ajuhava Putreti Tanmayataya Taravobhinedu Stang Sarvabhuta Hridaya Munimanatosmi Narayanam Namaskritam Narang Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudiyayet. Shrinvatang Svakata Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Hridantasto Yabhadrani Surit Satam Nashta Prayashvavadreshu Nityang Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Tavai Vasmi Tavaina Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vigyarade Tvam Nayamam Charanantikam Bhaktya Vihina Aparadha Lakshai Kshiptayamadhitaranga Madhe Kripa Maitam Sharanam Prapa Vrinde Namaste Charanaravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Dandavat pranams Madhavi Didi, Rohit Radha Krishnan ji, and Yashoda Didi. Hari Bol. And I think Manjari Didi might be there also. Dandavat pranams. Hari Bol. And Raseshwari Mataji, she'll be joining. She's, she'll watch the replay because she's at a program with her Gurudev Bodhayan Maharaj right now. Okay, so we're going to read Srila Viśvanātha Chakravartī Thakur's Sārārtha-darśinī commentary on this chapter 6, the killing of the demon Pūtanā. And since we already read all the Sanskrit verses, I'm not going to read all the verses. I'll just read a few of them. I'll read 3 of the verses. I'm going to read verses 3, 37, and 38. I'll read the first one. Shri Shuka uvacha nandapati vacha shorer nam risheti vichintayan harim jagama sharanam utpata gama shankita. Oh, wait, let me just check to see if my mic is connected, because sometimes it doesn't automatically. Okay, it is. Good. Haribo Manjari Didi. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Gargaraj ji, and Sham Prabhu, Hari Bol. Dandavat pranams to all of you. Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, Maharaj was on the way home. He considered that what Vasudeva had said could not be false or useless. There must have been some danger of disturbances in Gokul. As Nanda Maharaj thought about the danger for his beautiful son Krishna, he was afraid, and he took shelter at the lotus feet of the Supreme Controller. Sārārtha-darśinī Vritti by Srila Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. In this chapter, Pūtanā assumes a beautiful form and appears in Vraj. Upon dying, Pūtanā revealed her actual form of a Rakshasi, a female eater of human flesh. Nevertheless, Pūtanā attains liberation by the mercy of Krishna. Her body is burned and Nanda returns to Vraj from Mathura. Verse 2. While Nanda Maharaj was returning to Gokul, the same fierce Pūtanā, who Kamsa had previously engaged to kill babies, was wandering about the towns, cities, and villages doing her nefarious duty. Okay, we'll read this verse. This verse is on the topic how bhakti removes all dangers. Natra shavanadhini raksho gnani swakarmasu kurvanti satvatang bhartur yatu dhanyashtrahi. My dear king, wherever people in any position perform their occupation devotional service by chanting and hearing Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, there cannot be any danger from bad elements. Therefore, there was no need for anxiety about Gokul while the Supreme Personality of Godhead was personally present. Commentary. This verse is spoken to allay the fears of Maharaj Parikshit for Krishna's safety. In those places where people engage in scriptural duties like sacrifices without devotional acts, such as hearing stories of the Lord, who is devotees, the Rakshasis become very powerful. But Rakshasis have no influence where the primary activities are acts of devotion. What to speak of the place where the Lord is personally present? Verse 4. Once at a time, Pūtanā Rakshasi, who could move according to her desire and was one face, converted herself by mystic power into a very beautiful woman and thus entered Gokul, the abode of Nanda Maharaj. Commentary. To enact the pastime of killing, Krishna's Leela Shakti inspired Pūtanā to enter Gokul as if invited by death to be. With this intention, the verse is spoken. One evening, Pūtanā entered Gokul by flying through the sky, Utpatya. An alternate reading is Upetya, arriving. By mystic power, Pūtanā took on the form of Yoshitva. All the Vrajvasis were so much enamored by Pūtanā's beauty that they gave her access to all the houses in town. Though the Lord's illusory energy has no desire, by the will of the Lord, Pūtanā displayed her illusions just like a magician to bewilder the eternal devotees of Vraj and to unfold the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Verses 5 and 6. Her breasts were large and firm, seeming to overburden her slim waist. And she was dressed. Her hair, adorned with a garland of malika flowers, was scattered about her beautiful face. Her earrings were brilliant, and as she smiled very attractively, glancing upon everyone, her beauty drew the attention of all the inhabitants of Vraj, especially the men. When the bees saw her, they thought that the beautiful goddess of fortune, holding a lotus flower in her hand, had come to see her husband, Krishna. Commentary. Seeing that beautiful woman holding a lotus flower in her hands, the gopis concluded that she was Lakshmi, the embodiment of all wealth and jewels. She must have come to see her husband Narayan, the worshipable family deity of Nanda Maharaj. Pūtanā had full hips and large, firm breasts contrasted her thin waist. She was so extremely attractive, Vanita, that the Vrajvasis let her enter the inner chambers of their houses, obstruction. Verse 7. While searching for small children, Pūtanā, whose business was to kill them, entered the house of Nanda Maharaj, unobstructed, having been sent by the superior of the Lord. Without asking anyone's permission, she entered Nanda Maharaj's room, where she saw the child sleeping in bed, his unlimited power covered like a powerful fire covered by ashes. She could understand that this child was not ordinary, but was meant to kill all demons. Commentary. Pūtanā, killer of children, Balagraha, baby catcher, saw the child, Shishun, who, though he himself is the killer of the wicked, Asad Antakam, appeared easy to kill. At that time, Krishna concealed his unlimited powers, just as a fire is sometimes covered by ashes. Verse 8. Lord Shri Krishna, the all-pervading supersoul lying on the bed, understood that Pūtanā, a witch who was expert in killing small children, had come to kill him. Therefore, as if afraid of her, Krishna closed his eyes. Thus Pūtanā took upon her lap him who was to be her own annihilation, just as an unintelligent person places a sleeping snake on his lap, thinking the snake to be a rope. Commentary. Shows an opportunity for the Lord's power of omniscience to render service at the time of an approaching evil. Though Krishna fully understood Pūtanā's identity, he lay with his eyes closed like a normal child. Why did Krishna close his eyes? To show his fearfulness as a small child. So that's one reason. And to avoid seeing such an inauspicious person, that's the second reason. To avoid making the violence auspicious by the touch of his auspicious glance, that's 4. Then to avoid the shame of killing a woman posing as a mother, that's 5. And to avoid seeing the inauspiciousness of Pūtanā's death. So 6 reasons that Krishna closed. Then Pūtanā placed Krishna in her lap. Krishna is called Ananta, which means without end, and Antakam, because he brings about the end. This was an opportunity for Krishna's destructive energy to operate. Pūtanā held on her lap that person who is without limit in all space and time. Antakam and Ananta are also contradictory words to express this wonderful meaning as Adbhuta Ras. As a foolish person picks up a sleeping snake, thinking it is a Similarly, Pūtanā foolishly held Krishna, thinking him an ordinary helpless child. Verse 9. Pūtanā Rakshasi's heart was fierce and cruel, but she looked like a very affectionate mother. Thus she resembled a sharp sword in a soft sheath. Although seeing her within the room, Yashoda and Rohini, overwhelmed by her beauty, did not stop her, but remained silent because she treated the child like a mother. Comment. Why did Yashoda and Rohini not stop Pūtanā? This verse answers the question. Pūtanā acted like a very attentive mother. She was gentle, but inwardly she was cruel. Pūtanā resembled a sharp sword concealed in a soft leather sheath. Tat Prabhaya. Overwhelmed by Pūtanā's influence, Yashoda and Rohini thought that perhaps Ambika, Indrani, or Lakshmi of the celestial region had come to feed Krishna out of motherly love. Thus, they passively watched her pick up the child. Verse 10. On that very spot, the fiercely dangerous Rakshasi took Krishna on her lap and pushed her breast into his mouth. The nipple of her breast was smeared with a dangerous, immediately effective poison. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, becoming very angry at her, took hold of her breast, squeezed it very hard with both hands, and sucked out both the poison and her life. Commentary. In that place, Tasmin, the fierce, the Ghora, in that place the fierce woman Pūtanā offered her poisons besmeared breast to the baby. Durjaram viryam. To the baby, to the shore. Tasmin stanam durjara viryam. Krishna held Pūtanā's breast so tightly with his two hands that she could not pull him away. Gardham prapidya. Krishna was filled with anger, knowing that Pūtanā planned to kill all the children of Vraj by offering her breast to them. Therefore, Krishna's power of destruction, his Sanghara Shakti, sucked out her impure life. Krishna did not personally do this. Though we say a man cuts down the tree, actually it is the axe held by the man that cuts down the tree. Similarly, it is stated that Krishna sucked out Pūtanā's life heirs, but actually his Sanghara Shakti performed the work. Okay, and because the other day we read that Pūtanā was killing all the children of Vraj, but here it says that Pūtanā plans to kill all the children of Vraj. Yeah, because that really disturbed me. It's like, what? All of Krishna's potential cowherd friends are being killed by Pūtanā? Okay, verse 11. Unbearably pressed in every vital point, the demon Pūtanā began to cry, "Please leave me! Leave me! Suck my breast no longer!" Perspiring, her eyes wide open, and her arms and legs flailing, she cried very loudly again and again. Commentary. Being squeezed by baby Krishna in all her sensitive points, Pūtanā began flailing her hands and legs. Verse 12. As Pūtanā screamed loudly, the earth with its mountains and space with its planets trembled. The lower planets and all directions vibrated, and people fell down, fearing that thunderbolts were falling upon them. Love that. Rasa means rasatal and the lower planets. It's pretty intense. Verse 13. In this way, the demon Pūtanā, very much aggrieved because her breast was being attacked by Krishna, lost her life. O King Parikshit, opening her mouth wide and spreading her arms, legs, she fell down in the pasturing ground in her original form as a Rakshasi. Vritrasura had fallen when killed by the thunderbolt of Indra. Commentary. Because of the pain of death, Pūtanā Rakshasi could not maintain her disgust with a beautiful woman and reverted to her demoniac form. Verse 14. O King Parikshit, when the gigantic body of Pūtanā fell to the ground, it smashed all the trees within a limit of 12 miles. Wow, 12 miles. Appearing in a gigantic body, she was certainly extraordinary. Commentary. To intense pain, Pūtanā ran out of the house, fled the village, and fell down to the ground on the outskirts of Vraj. Okay, on the outskirts of Vraj. She wasn't in Vraj. The word api signifies that not only while living, but even while dying, Pūtanā was killing other living entities. All the trees within an area of 6 kroshas, that's 12 miles, were crushed by the falling body of the gigantic witch. It was remarkable that only the trees were crushed and none of the village houses. According to Sri Jiva Goswami's Vaishnava Toshani Tika, these trees, which were laden with pleasurable fruits, were located in Kamsa's personal garden. So she was not able to lay a finger on anything in Vraj. No children, no even plants were destroyed by Pūtanā, only Kamsa. And we see in Vraj, what is it? Hatras is where Pūtanā's hands fell, and there's a couple different cities that are named after the parts of Pūtanā's body that fell down. There's Hatras. What's another one? There are other ones. Verse 15 to 17. The Rakshasi was full of teeth, each resembling the front of a plow. Her nostrils were deep like mountain caves, and her breasts resembled big slabs of stone fallen from a hill. Her scattered hair was the color of copper. The sockets of her eyes appeared like deep blind wells. Her fearful thighs resembled the banks of a river. Her arms, legs, and feet seemed like big bridges, and her abdomen appeared like a dried-up lake. The hearts, ears, and heads of the cowherd men and women were already shocked by the Rakshasi's screaming, and when they saw the fierce wonder of her body, they were even more frightened. Commentary. Seeing her hideous body, the cowherd men and women became frightened. Pūtanā's teeth were as large as plowshares, nostrils were as deep as mountain caves, and her waist was the bank of a river. Pūtanā's hands, feet, and thighs were like bridges, and her belly was like a dried-up lake. All of this was terrible to see. The hearts, ears, and heads of the Vrajvasis were already shattered by Pūtanā's screaming, and upon seeing her ghastly form, they became more. Verse 18. Without fear, the child Krishna was playing on the upper portion of Pūtanā Rakshasi's breast, and when gopis saw the child's wonderful activities, they immediately came forward with great jubilation and picked him up. Commentary. Pūtanā's chest was raised a hill, suitable for playing. The gopis entered the maternity ward, but they did not see Krishna there. Yashoda and Rohini lie on the ground unconscious. Desiring to see Krishna, the gopis went inside the house and saw him playing Pūtanā. Let's see a picture of this. Not before, but I'm just want to share it again. 1 second. We can look after. Okay. BBT. Here we go. Oh, this is a better quality one. Open link in new tab. There. See, pretty suitable. suitable for playing. There's her copper hair, mouth wide open. So, all right. Verse 19. Thereafter, Mother Yashoda and Rohini, along with the other elderly, waved about the switch of a cow to give full protection to the child Sri Krishna. Commentary. This verse mentions that Yashoda, Rohini, and the other gopis performed rituals of protection. Yashoda and Rohini did not take a leading role, however, because they were extremely affected by anxiety for Krishna. The elderly gopis waved a cow's tail around all of Krishna's limbs to protect him. They also offered other items, such as mustard seeds, and touched Krishna with the edge of the winnowing basket. Verse 20. The child was thoroughly washed with and smeared with the dust raised by the movements of the cows. Then different names of the Lord were applied with cow dung on 12 parts of his body, beginning with the forehead, as done in applying tilak. In this way, the child was given protection. Commentary. Using cow dung, they protected Krishna by places on his body while pronouncing names of Vishnu, starting with the name Keshav on the forehead, as done in applying tilak. Verse 21. The gopis first execute the process of achman, drinking a sip of water with the right hand. They purified their bodies with the nyasa mantra, and then applied the same mantra upon the body of the child. Commentary. The gopis hastily started the rituals of protection without first doing achman because of great fear. Down, they did the rituals properly by first performing achman, samsprishta salila. They then performed anganyas and karanyas on their own bodies and hands. Then they invoked Krishna's limbs. The bij consists of the first syllables of the name with the example. Om Nama, Nama. May Aja protect Mam Nama. May Maniman protect your knees. Verses 22 to 23. 1 second. Okay. Shukadev Goswami informs Maharaj Parikshit that the gopis, following the proper system, Krishna, their child, with this mantra. May Aja protect your legs. May Maniman protect your knees. Yagya, your thighs. Achyuta, the upper part of your waist. And Hayagriva, your abdomen. May Keshav protect your heart. Isha, your chest. The sun god, your neck. Vishnu, your arms. Urukram, your face. And Ishwar, your head. May Chakri protect you from the front. May Sri Hari, Gadadhari, the carrier of the club, protect you from the back. And may the carrier of the bow, who is known as the enemy of Madhu, and Lord Ajana, the carrier of the sword, protect your two sides. May Lord Urugai, the carrier of the conch shell, protect you from all corners. May Upendra protect you from above. May Garuda protect you on the ground. And may Lord Haladar, the Supreme Person, protect you on all sides. Commentary. They protect Krishna's limbs using a mantra. Angri stands for the 2 feet. Maniman is a particular avatar of the Lord. Janu stands for both knees. Hrit refers to this holding the living entity in the region of the heart. Uro means chest. In verse 20, the directions around Krishna are protected. May the holder of the chakra protect you in the front. May Sahagada, the holder of the club, protect you from behind. May Madhusudan, holding the bow, and Aja, holding a sword, protect your sides. May Sanka Urugai, holding the conch, protect you in the 4 corners, northeast, northwest, southeast, east. May Upendra protect above, and may Tarksha, Garuda, protect you below. Ladar protect you in all directions. Verse 24. May Hrishikesh protect your senses, and Narayan your life air. May the master of Shvetadvip protect the core of your heart, and may Lord Yogeshwar protect your mind. Verses 25 and 26. May Lord Prishni Garbha protect your intelligence, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead your soul. While you are playing, may Govinda protect you, and while you are sleeping, may Madhav protect you. May Lord Vaikuntha protect you while you are walking, and may Lord Narayan, the husband of the goddess of fortune, protect you while you are sitting. Similarly, may Lord Yagyabhuk, the fearful enemy of all evil planets, always protect you while you enjoy life. Verses 27 to 29. The evil witches known as Dakinis, Yatudhanis, are the greatest enemies of children. And the evil spirits like Bhutas, Pretas, Pishachas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, and Vinayakas, as well as witches like Kotara, Jeshta, Pūtanā, and Matrika, are always ready to give trouble to the body. Is always ready to give trouble to the body, the life air, and the senses, causing loss of memory, madness, and bad dreams. Poor children. These are real boogeymen. Like the most experienced evil stars, they all create great disturbances, especially for children. But one can vanquish them simply by uttering Lord Vishnu's name. For when Lord Vishnu's name resounds, all of them become afraid and go away. Verse 30. Srila Shukadev Goswami continued. All the gopis headed by Mother Yashoda were bound by maternal affection. After they thus chanted mantras to protect the child, Mother Yashoda gave the child the nipple of her breast to suck, and then got him to lie down on his bed. Commentary. Thus the gopis, being bound by maternal affection, completed the rituals for protection. After offering her breast to Krishna and seeing him happily sucking her milk, Yashoda could understand that Krishna was in good health. Then she lied Krishna down to sleep. 31. Meanwhile, all the cowherd men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, returned from Mathura, and when they saw on the way the gigantic body of Pūtanā lying dead, they were struck with great wonder. The cowherd men were astonished. Perhaps a flying mountain fell from the sky by mistake and crushed all the huge trees. Perhaps we have come to the wrong place under the spell of some witch. Or perhaps this is just a magical illusion. In this way, many doubts arose in their minds. Verse 32. Nanda Maharaj and the other Gopas exclaimed, "My dear friends, you must know Anaka Dundubhi, Vasudev, has become a great saint or a master of mystic power. Otherwise, how could he have foreseen calamity and predicted it to us?" Commentary. Certainly, Nunam, Vasudev is the Rishi in our family. For being all-knowing, he has predicted correctly. Through practice of Ashtanga Yoga, Yogesha, Vasudev has acquired the power to see the future. Thus, his glories forever shine. Samasa. Verse 33. The inhabitants of Raj cut the gigantic body of Pūtanā into pieces with the help of axes. Then they threw the pieces far away, covered the wood, and burned them to ashes. Just checking to see if everything's running okay. Looks like it. Yeah, that is cool, isn't it? Hari Bol for Jumna Prabhu and Mantra. Yeah, it's a nice meditation when we're doing Achman. Elderly gopis also perform Achman. What an image to meditate upon. Okay, so They threw the pieces of her body far away, covered them with wood, and burned them to ashes. Commentary. On the order of Upananda and others, the lower class men, the Vrajokasa, completely burned Pūtana's body out of fear that it would come to life again. The influence of poisonous creatures is extinguished when their bodies are burned. Verse 34. Because of Krishna's having sucked the breast of the Rakshasi Pūtanā, when Krishna killed her, she was immediately freed of all material contamination. Her sinful reactions automatically vanished, and therefore, when her gigantic body was being burnt, the smoke emanating from her body was fragrant, like aguru incense. Commentary. This verse describes how Pūtana's body became sanctified by the touch of Krishna's mouth. Her body became purified of all sins, ahata papma, the moment, sapadi, Krishna began drinking from her breast, Krishna nirbhukta. Verse 35. Pūtana was always hankering for the blood of human children, and with that desire, she came to Krishna. But because she offered her breast to the Lord, she attains the greatest achievement. What then is to be said of those who had natural devotion and affection for Krishna as mothers, and who to suck offered something very dear, as a mother offers something to her child? Commentary. If a person offers service with an attempt to kill the Lord and attains the goal of life, how much more will a person attain who offers with neutral attitude? And how much more will a person attain who offers with faith? How much more will a person attain who offers with pure bhakti? And if a person worships an avatar of the Lord, he will attain the supreme destination. But how much more will a person attain who worships Sri Krishna, the source of all avatars, Sarva Avatari? Verse 36. If one offers up to Krishna and attains the supreme destination, how much more will one attain by offering a poisonous object? If one offers a dear object, certainly one will attain a higher destination. But if one offers a dearer object, then how much more will he attain? And if one offers the dearmost object, he will certainly attain the highest destination. I like these verses. Commentary. If Pūtanā, a demoniac Rakshasi, could attain the highest destination, then what can be attained by a faithful human being? If one is a devotee, how much more will he attain? And will not a pure devotee attain the highest award? Then what to speak of the elderly who had extreme affection for the Lord during the stealing of the calves by the Lord Brahma, paying respects to Mother Yashoda's, I have placed her in the highest position. Therefore, I will write no more, because her love for Krishna is beyond words. Wow, beautiful. Paying my respects to Mother Yashoda's, I have placed her in the highest position. Therefore, I will write no more, because her love for Krishna is beyond words. Okay, this verse will have the Sanskrit to it. And it's about how Pūtanā attained perfection. What to speak of the cows and gopis? Padbhyam bhakta hridistabhyam vandhyabhyam lokavanditai angayasya samakramya bhagavan apitatstanam yattu dhanya pisa swargam avapa janani gatim Krishna bhukta stanakshira kemu gavo numatara. The Supreme Personality of God Krishna is always situated within the core of the heart of the pure devotee, and he is always offered prayers by such worshipable personalities as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Because Krishna embraced Pūtana's body with great pleasure and sucked her breast, although she was a great witch, she attains the position of a mother in the transcendental world and thus achieved the highest perfection. What then is to be said, whose nipples Krishna sucked with great pleasure, and offered their milk very jubilantly, with affection exactly like that of a mother? Commentary. That's a really sweet verse, huh? Commentary. These two verses describe of Pūtanā's attainment through the mercy of the Lord. Even though Pūtanā was a Rakshasi, her body was tread upon feet, which were situated in the hearts of devotees and worshipped by those worthy of worship, the Devatas. Pūtanā's breast milk was drunk by Krishna, and she attains the supreme abode as a mother of the Lord. Bhakta Hridi Stabhyam. Krishna's feet are situated only in the hearts of the devotees, but Pūtanā was neither a devotee nor a non-devotee. She was an enemy of Krishna. Vandabhyam Loka Vanditai. Krishna's lotus feet Krishnas are worshipped by worshipable personalities such as Brahma and Shiva. But Pūtanā did not Krishna's feet. Rather, she did the opposite. At the time of Pūtanā tried to dislodge Krishna's feet from her chest. Unable to do so, she began to beat them with all her strength. Samakramya. That means completely. Sorry, I need to sit up. Krishna stepped on Pūtanā's. Krishna stepped on Pūtanā with his feet, not just touching her. Swargam, heavenly planets. Where did Pūtanā go at the time of her death? She attained Vaikuntha. Explained in Bhagavatam 11.7.1. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all planetary rulers are praying to live in Vaikuntha. Lord Brahma says in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10.14.35, Pūtanā attained you along with her family members. According to these two verses, the word Swarga must mean Svavasam, your personal abode. The word does not refer to the material heavenly Swarga. Janani Gatim, the destiny of a mother. Which Vaikuntha planet did Pūtanā attain? The verse explains that Pūtanā attains the same planet as Mother Yashoda, Janani Gatim. Pūtanā attains Goloka, but her was predominated by happiness and reverence. She did not attain the place predominated by service and one cannot say that she attained the status of a mother. Verse 10.6.36 says, that place is reserved for those who are anuraktas, with pure loving attachment for Krishna. Here, verse 38 says that the cows and motherly gopis who fed milk to Krishna in the Brahma Vimohan Lila attained a higher destination than Pūtanā. How could Pūtanā, whose enmity was equal to Kamsa's, though she imitated dress and emotion of a gopi, attain the same status? Oops. What happened? Where did I lost it? How did she attain the same status? Okay, sorry. Though she imitated the dress and emotion of a gopi, how did she attain the same status as Yashoda? Therefore, Uddhav says in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 2.23, Lebhe gatim datruchitam. Pūtanā attained a status like a nurse. Thus, in the present verse, some interpret the word Janani, mother, to be Dhatri, nurse. But even then, one should not say that Pūtanā was a direct nurse of Krishna. Rather, she attained a form like a nurse in a Goloka filled with Sukhaishvarya, reverential happiness. Just checking the comments one more time. Yeah, that is interesting, isn't it? Vasudeva might practice Ashtanga Yoga. Verse 39 to 40. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the bestower of actions, including liberation, kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. Of Godhead, for that personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they returned to this material world after leaving their bodies. Commentary. By saying that the elderly gopis attained more than Pūtanā in going to Vaikuntha, contradiction to the statement that enmity and affection lead to the same goal. That statement, taken literally, would lead to criticism of the Lord for lack of discrimination. If it is true that the elderly gopis attained more than Pūtanā, who attained Vaikuntha, then what did they attain? That should be explained. With this in mind, the present verse is spoken. Though Krishna is the bestower of all sorts of goals such as liberation, he drank Pūtanā's breast milk with extremely rare awareness, alam. Lord Brahma says in the Bhagavatam 10:14-31. Fortunate are the cows and gopis whose sweet breast milk Krishna drank in great bliss. With this rare awareness, Krishna thinks, whatever they want, I will give. And as well, whatever I want, they are willing to give. Since whatever is desired is easily attained, Krishna certainly will give to the cows and the gopis a suitable reward. Higher than Vaikuntha or even Goloka, Krishna will grant them Bhoma Vrindavan, which is the most attractive of all. Though Krishna appeared from Devaki's womb, he did not drink her milk, but he regularly drank the milk of the gopis. Devaki Putra, son of Devaki. Thus, by mentioning Krishna as Devaki Putra in this verse, it is implied that the gopis were more attractive to him. Sangsaro, birth-death cycle. One should not think that Krishna liberated the gopis from sangsar, for already they had no material bondage. There's no bondage for those engaged in the Lord's service. The correct? Sangsar, I guess this is a different word. The sangsar ensnares those attached to house, husband, and sons. Krishna drank milk from the gopis played in their houses. Krishna's father was their husband, and Krishna was their son. This attachment did not breed sangsar. That is the intent of verse. I think this might be a spelling mistake, not a different word. Sutekshana means the elderly gopis looked on Krishna as their son. For them, sangsar did not occur. Yeah, see, I think it was some spelling mistake. For them, sangsar did not occur. Napate. Sangsar is born of ignorance. Knowledge of Brahman puts an end to sangsar. However, better than that is the Shanta Bhakta's realization of Bhagavan. Better yet is the Dasya Bhakta, who realizes Lord Krishna as his master. By that, the Lord becomes Krishna. Superior to that is the Sakya Bhakta, who treats the Lord like a friend. Higher than that is the Vatsalya Bhakta, who realizes the Lord as a son, mentioned in this verse. Here there is a gradation of release from sangsara according to the degree of surrender of the Lord to the devotee. Verse 41. Upon smelling the fragrance of the smoke emanating from Pūtanā's burning body, many inhabitants of Vrajabhumi in distant places were astonished. Where is this fragrance coming from? They asked. Thus they went to the spot where Pūtanā's body was being burnt. Commentary. Philosophical issues. Shukadeva returns to the topic at hand. Burning the dead body. Kutakim idam. Where does this smell come from? Is this aguru incense coming down from Indrapuri, though the earth Is this aguru incense coming down from Indrapuri through the earth and trying to enter Sutala? Or is it ascending from Bali's abode on Sut through the earth up to Swarga and up to Swarga? Or is it coming from Kuvera's city in the north or city in the west? In this way, the cowherd man entertains many questions. Verse 42. When the inhabitants of Raj, who had come from distant places, heard the whole story of how Pūtanā had come and then been killed by Krishna, they were certainly astonished, and they asked the child for his wonderful deed of killing Pūtanā. Nanda Maharaj, of course, was very much obliged to Vasudeva, who had foreseen the incident, and sent him, thinking how wonderful Vasudeva was. Commentary. The returning cowherd men were very astonished. Vasudeva has spoken correctly. In discussing amongst themselves, they said, who else but Narayan could protect the baby? Verse 43. O Maharaj Parikshit, best of the Kurus, Nanda Maharaj was very liberal and simple. He immediately took his son Krishna on his lap as if Krishna had returned from death. So he immediately took Krishna on his lap as if Krishna had returned from death, and by formally smelling his head, Nanda Maharaj undoubtedly enjoyed transcendental bliss. Commentary. Returning from his visit, Pratyagataha, to Mathura, Nanda began to lament. So much misfortune has occurred in my absence. Why did I go to Mathura? Udaradhi. This indicates that Nanda began to criticize everyone's intelligence. How could the dull doorkeepers not prevent anyone from entering the house? Verse 44. Verse 44. Any person who hears with faith and devotion about how Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, killed Pūtanā, and who thus invests his hearing in such childhood pastimes of Krishna, certainly attains attachment for Govinda, the Supreme Original Person. Commentary. Anyone who faithfully hears the childhood pastimes of Krishna, Krishnasya Arbakam, and the liberated Pūtanā, and accepts them as most astonishing, will attain attraction for Govinda. An alternate reading for Shrunuyach hears is Nisamya, hearing. Taking that reading, the meaning becomes, anyone who hears the childhood pastimes of Krishna and the liberation of Pūtanā with faith will attain attraction to Govinda and everything related to Govinda. Thus ends the commentary on the of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam for the prayer of the devotees, in accordance with the previous acharyas. All right, so tomorrow we will read about the killing of the demon Trinavarta. And sorry guys, I keep on falling asleep every morning. Anyways, I've been trying to get up earlier, and that makes me get really tired at this time. All right, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandhara Vikagiri Dhari, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai, Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai, Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Gosai Maharaj Shri Guru Deva Ki Jai, Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupad Rashata Rashata Sri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Gosai Maharaj Ki Jai, Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupada Ashtadarshitashmad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupada Ashtadarshitashmad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Gosai Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishtam Vishnupada Ashtadarshitashmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosai Prabhupada ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Maha-Bhagavat Srila Gokshura Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Srila Satchid Ananda Bhakti Vinod Ṭhākura ki jai. Nitila Pravishta Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupano Gauriya Guru Varga ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jeev Gopal Patadash Raghunath Sharda Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nama Jai Srila Haridas Ṭhākura ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाय की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री Yogini Akadashi Titi ki jai. Akadashi Titi Palan Kari Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Oh, and for some of you, it might be Shivas Pandit's disappearance day today, right? So, Shivas Ṭhākura ki jai. Shri Hari, Tadiya Shubhatira Bhaptiti ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Shri Grantha Raj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Vrajendra Nandan Sham Sundar. Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radha Ṭhākurani ki jai. Shri Nanda Baba Yashoda Maya ki jai. Shri Krishna Kanaya ki jai. Daubaya ki jai. Shri Saravrajavasi Gan ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashaja. Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavataya Namo Namaha. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams everybody. See you all tomorrow for the killing of Trinabharta. Alright, Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna Shasharmaji Haribo. Alright, see you all tomorrow.